Chapter 51 Finally found Lu Lan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just when Su Chen was getting frustrated, a subordinate approached him. He still didn't believe in this evil. With hundreds of people searching for someone in a limited space, how can he not find Lu Lan? Protagonist's halo is overpowered, but it's not invincible. People can't appear out of thin air, right? Young master, we finally found a girl matching your description. Really? Take me there fast. Su Chen quickly followed his subordinate. He soon arrived at a shady place, a dirty side alley which no one would want to enter. There he saw a girl lying on her knees, looking absent-mindedly at the ground. Same knee-length brown hairs, the same plump figure with perfect hip-waist ratio, her height almost the same as his. With her poor and faded clothes, the girl perfectly matched the description in Su Chen's mind. Such a hidden place, no wonder we didn't find her earlier. Su Chen quickly told all his subordinates to hide far away so as to not scare her. Any stranger seeing so many bodyguards will get a cold feet, let alone a girl in her condition. Slowly, Su Chen approached her. Even though the footsteps were silent, there was still some noise produced by the boots, but the girl seemed to be completely oblivious. Okay, it's time for acting. Su Chen took a deep breath as he was standing just next to her. Hello. Why is a girl like you sitting here where people dump garbage? Su Chen spoke with a straight face. He tried his best to give a sunny smile to make the girl comfortable. The girl was still the same, seemed to be lost in her world. Hey! I asked you, what are you doing? Su Chen bent forward, jerking off her right hand to startle her. Kaya, HMMH. No matter how absent-minded she was, when someone touched her, her defense mechanism activated automatically as the girl stood up warily. Who are you? Why are you touching me all of a sudden? I was just passing by and saw someone sitting on the ground like a beggar. I wondered what problem this girl was facing that she decided to sit in such a stinky place. Look all around, so much dump and trash. People have thrown here. To give a feeling that he was speaking the truth, Su Chen shrugged off his shoulders. The mature girl hesitated to speak. She almost opened her mouth, but then she closed it again without saying anything. She still looked at Su Chen with alarmed eyes. She took a deep breath. I am sorry. Yes, I am indeed facing some problems. But I will face them on my own, no need for outsiders to put their nose in my business. She spoke without any fear. Her tone immediately changed from being timid to fearless. There was also a little disgust in her eyes when she looked at Su Chen. But how can I ignore someone in need of help? Su Chen realized that for some reason this girl was a little disgusted with him, but he seemed to have met her for the first time. I am Su Chen, the young master of the Su family. You must have heard about my name. You don't need to be so wary of me. Su Chen spoke a little helplessly. Lu Lan, don't know why, but felt uncomfortable when she first looked at Su Chen. For her it was like a feeling that the other party was her natural enemy, but she. Like Su Chen, she too was confused as this was her first time meeting him. What's wrong? Why do I feel so repulsed on seeing his face? Just as I was about to tell him my problem, I suddenly had this feeling that he is a bad guy. What's wrong with me? Perhaps I am too exhausted. Nevertheless, he is a stranger, I can't ask for help from him. Lu Lan thought in her mind. When Lu Lan heard his name was Su Chen, the second generation of the famous Su group, famous all over the country, the bad and unfavorable feelings further intensified. But still, it's bad to not tell him my name, right? The other party showed me goodwill, I just can't shoo him away just because of what I am feeling, right? Lu Lan slowly muttered. My name is Lu Lan. It was my pleasure to meet you, but I need to go now. Lu Lan dismissed Su Chen and was about to leave. Su Chen could only look helplessly. He realized that something was wrong. Damn, I am 100% sure that this is our first encounter. We never had any intersection in the past. No matter her family members or friends or long-distant blood relatives, I never met any of them, so why is she repulsing me so much? Suddenly, a thought crossed Su Chen's mind, is this that fkin bloody protagonist's halo again? I can't guess any other reason. Su Chen gritted his teeth. Just as when she was about to cross Su Chen, a message notification rang on his mobile phone. Su Chen was already frustrated enough, at this moment. How could he have spare time to reply to someone? In anger he took out his phone, to directly switch it off. But just when his eyes fell on the screen, his body shook. The message sender was the captain of his security team, whom he just minutes ago told to hide away so as to not scare Lu Lan. The message was crisp and simple: #####, young master. Chu Fong appeared out of nowhere, and he seems to be heading in your direction. Seeing the message, Su Chen's eyes almost popped out. If earlier he only had a suspicion that it was the work of the protagonist's halo, this time he was sure about it. He could almost foresee the future. Lu Lan will walk out and will meet Chu Fong, who is on his way here, and then the girl who felt disgusted by him, for some reason, will have a good and favorable impression when she sees Chu Fong's face. How could Chu Fong stay quiet on seeing such a hot chick with a mature figure? He would instantly strike up a conversation with her. And Lu Lan, who never uttered a word in front of him, feeling warmed and touched by Chu Fong's duplicitous words, will cry and burst open and share with him her complete story. Then the normal plot of the story will unfold. Chu Fong helps her save all the problems one by one, winning her heart completely. Su Chen's face twitched when he thought about such a future. No, there's still a chance. I, Su Chen, who has always fought against my villainous destiny, won't give up that easily. His mind started working at a lightning speed, trying to figure out a solution. Yes, since her meeting with Chu Fong can't be stopped, then I will do the same thing. Su Chen decisively turned around and called out Lu Lan, who had just walked out a few steps from him. Wait, Miss Lu Lan. His voice was very loud. Even if Lu Lan wanted to ignore it, she couldn't help stopping in her tracks. She looked at Su Chen, who was once again standing next to her. What happened? Why did he call me again? Seeing her face full of questions, Su Chen started his acting. He gave a little sigh. Since things have come this far, I will tell you everything. Su Chen's tone became a lot more sincere than before, giving the impression that he was gonna tell some secret. Lu Lan still looked at him with the same eyes, the alertness not diminished to the slightest. Actually, I can see some level of distrust and wariness in the way you are looking at me. It's natural, as I did not come to you with good intentions. You know, there is a person who has a big enmity with me. He wants to kill me badly. Maybe it's just because of my family connections and prestige, lest he would have directly tried to murder me publicly. There was helplessness in his tone. But what does it have to do with me? Everyone has their own problem. Why are you crying in front of me? Lu Lan replied in a slightly raised tone. That's right, everyone has their own problem, but my problem involves you, that's why I am here. Hearing him that his problem was related to her, Lu Lan was taken aback. What? She asked. Seeing the play was performing according to the script he imagined, Su Chen intensified his acting. That's right, my enemy's name is Chu Fong. He is a big criminal who had killed countless innocents abroad. He came back to the country with a dream to open a harem, and Su Chen deliberately took a pause. And he has his eyes set on you. He has been secretly stalking you, waiting for a chance when you are in your most desperate condition. Then, just like those dramas you watch on television, like a hero, he will appear suddenly in your life, solving all your problems one by one. Su Chen spoke with utmost seriousness. What nonsense are you speaking? Someone is stalking me. A big murderer named Chu Fong wants to add me to his harem. ###I hope most of you have already joined the Discord server for the latest updates and notifications regarding CHS, Happy Face. Chapter 52, Plant the Seed of Suspicion. You're listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Lan took a step back. What the heck is he saying? No, my heart feels he can't be trusted, but if what he said is real and a guy named Chu Fong is secretly stalking me, then what should I do? Even though Lu Lan showed no expression of trusting Su Chen's words, inwardly, she got alarmed. Any girl if told such a thing all of a sudden will panic without a doubt. How can Lu Lan not be the same? Seeing a little hesitation appearing on her face, Su Chen finally smiled. Yes, he had already thought about it. With the wariness and disdain Lu Lan showed earlier, he knew she wouldn't trust him that easily. But his aim was to never make her trust her. His goal was simple. Just plant a seed of suspicion in her mind. Just let her be aware of the thought that Chu Fong is intentionally approaching her with bad thoughts. How did Su Chen come up with this idea? It was simple. Before transmigration he once read an online story posted by a sad man on some forum. His story was simple. He was living a happy life with his wife. He used to come late because of working extra time so as to earn a little extra. One of his best friends, who secretly liked his wife, couldn't see the couple living happily. Out of jealousy, he told the wife secretly that her husband was secretly seeing another woman and cheating on her. At first, the wife didn't believe him, but a seed of suspicion was planted in her mind. She asked his husband many times to come home early, but he said he was working to earn more. His friend, to further intensify the misunderstanding, started taking the guy to some club on pretext of various excuses, and secretly clicked various ambiguous photos to send to his wife. Then that guy started filling her with lies that why not your husband take you out for an outing? Why doesn't he buy you good things? Why does he not talk much with you? Like this, by doing various petty things, the wife of the guy finally started trusting his husband's friend. With many coincidences happening under her husband's friend's deliberate arrangement. Eventually, she started distrusting her husband. In the end, the misunderstanding was too great, she ended up getting divorced, and when the next month the divorced husband got the news that her ex-wife was marrying his best friend, he realized that something bad happened behind his back. But it was too late, he could only cry at that time. Likewise, even if it's a lie, when many coincidences start happening like Chu Fong, one by one solving all Lu Lan's problems like some hero of the drama and start flirting with her. Just like what Su Chen told her, the seed of suspicion planted in her mind will start spurting out and she will be forced to believe what Su Chen was telling the truth. At that time, Su Chen believed with sufficient reason, seeing from her own eyes, the wariness and disgust in her eyes for Chu Fong will be much higher than she had for him. Plus, Lu Lan, compared to Chu Fong, not even had any real enmity or evidence against Su Chen to begin with. So at that time can she still stay out of his clutches? I know you don't believe me, it's okay. If anyone came to me suddenly and told me all of this, I too won't trust that person. Su Chen spoke sympathetically. It was time to end his performance under Lu Lan's bewildered eyes. He took out a pen and spare piece of paper from his pocket. He did not know when he developed this habit of carrying pen and paper with him, thinking it may come in handy someday. He never knew today would be that lucky day. Lu Lan kept looking at his actions, choosing to stay quiet. In her mind, she won't see Su Chen again after this encounter. How can a rich second generation like him waste time for a poor girl like her? Su Chen wrote his private number on the piece of paper and stuffed it into her hands. Keep my number with you. In the future you may need it. Lu Lan did not know when Su Chen had already forced the piece of paper in her hands. Goodbye Miss Lu Lan, it was my pleasure meeting you. Not caring any further, Su Chen walked away first. Lu Lan could only see his back getting further till it completely disappeared. The guy spoke too much. He was a rich second generation anyways, if I refused, maybe he would get angry. It's okay, it's just a number. It's not like I am going to call him. Lu Lan reluctantly put Su Chen's number in her purse and started walking out of the alley. Su Chen, who had just got out of the alley, quickly hid at the place where his security team's captain was hiding. Young master. What happened? Didn't you want to talk with that girl? Is the conversation already over? The security team's captain asked surprisingly. You don't have to care about these details. Just put your mind into following my orders. Su Chen replied with a calm face. As a young master, he must show his demeanor. The subordinates only need to do what they are told. After that, Su Chen's eyes started observing Lu Lan. Seeing the young master's gaze, the security team captain too started looking where Su Chen was looking. Wait. That direction where this girl is walking is where Chu Fong is coming. Don't tell me they are gonna meet up. Suddenly the things his young master told him to do before surfaced in his mind, where Su Chen told him to keep an eye on Chu Fong and stop any unknown girl/woman from approaching him. He still can't forget that. At first all the bodyguards did not want to do this job and seemed uninterested. But later, one by one whoever followed Chu Fong realized that something is wrong with this guy. They did what Su Chen asked for, and all of them who cut his chances ended up getting a girlfriend. This set off a storm in all subordinates. Everyone wanted to monitor Chu Fong to get a girlfriend. The security team captain, that's why, was full of disdain. Shit, another beautiful girl is approaching him. Will she fall all of a sudden and ask for help, or some bad people will appear to harass her? Various scenarios started appearing in the security team's captain's mind. Shit. That girl is so close to Chu Fong. She is walking without looking, she will collide with him. If any of our bodyguards was following Chu Fong, then we would have stopped this girl from getting close to him. Who knows, our brothers may get yet another girlfriend. But why this time? The young master is letting Chu Fong get close to this girl he seemed to be interested in. Question marks were filled in the security team's captain's mind. Guessing the things from his facial expressions, Su Chen chuckled. Don't overthink. Since I am doing things, everything is happening for a reason. I will never allow this girl to get close to Chu Fong. Su Chen spoke with determination. Just as they were observing, it happened. Lu Lan, who was walking with her head down, not paying any attention to the path, collided with a strong muscular guy. Ha! She fell down from the impact. Ouch! She lifted her head to see a young man. The moment she saw the young man's face, she felt as if he was someone closer to her. She was taken aback. She was sure this was her first time seeing this guy. At that time the young man spoke. Hello, young Mississippi. My name is Chu Fong. I never thought that on this sunny day, I would be too lucky to meet such a beautiful lady like you. With a confident smile and arrogance unique to a protagonist, he offered his hand to help her get up. Let me help you get up. The moment Lu Lan heard that his name was Chu Fong, something exploded in her head. Fuck. How is this possible? How is this possible? That Su Che told me the stalking guy's name was Chu Fong, and he is Chu Fong. Lu Lan started screaming in her mind. She was panicked, her mind was in a mess. She thought about all the details Su Chen told her about Chu Fong. This is surely a coincidence, right? She laughed out to hide her clumsiness. Seeing Chu Fong's hands approaching to help her get up, she quickly jumped back. What happened? Chu Fong looked at her confusingly. I can get up on my own, don't mind me. Lu Lan decided to just run away. But how can Chu Fong allow it? Chu Fong's burning eyes started examining Lu Lan's hot figure from head to toe. Feeling Chu Fong's fierce eyes, Lu Lan's body shuddered. Why is he looking at me like he wants to eat me? Seeing such a hot chick, Chu Fong was already excited. Haha. Her beauty is not that good compared to Mei Qing and Lu Ruer, but her figure is plump and mature. I want to make her mine. I can feel it that her taste will be very spicy in the bed. Chu Fong looked lustfully at Lu Lan, not hiding his intentions in the slightest. Chapter 53 Chu Fong meets Lu Lan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even though due to the protagonist's halo Lu Lan had a good impression of Chu Fong, but who can blame her for feeling panicked? She was already given an injection by Su Chen. She was just like a chess piece, her each move was under Su Chen's deliberation. Ignoring Chu Fang's extended hand, she got up on her own and picked up her purse which had fallen. Chu Fang just stood there, his arms frozen in the air. "Okay, girl, now you really make me feel interested." Chu Fang's smile only grew wider. Before meeting her, he was really annoyed. He missed Lu Ruer earlier at the police station, but how can he quit so easily? Quitting, giving up, these words don't exist in his dictionary. He was already on his way to Lu Ruer's house. His plan was simple: just sit outside her house, when she comes just drag her in his SUV. But he did not know why, he felt somewhat hungry on his way and stopped the SUV upon seeing a good noodle shop. Just when he ate and was about to go back to his SUV, he collided with this girl. Just when Chu Fang was about to throw another one of his cheesy dialogue to pick up girls, Lu Lan's phone rang. The moment she looked at the phone, her eyes narrowed. The caller was one of the people she owes a lot of money to. Hesitatingly, she picked up the call. The voice from the other side was loud and crisp. Seeing her jerky movements, Chu Fang's curiosity was further aroused. Oh, I feel I will have a chance to be a knight in shining armor." He looked attentively at Lu Ruer. Hashtag, Lu Lan, why are you not picking up my calls? Hashtag, I am telling you, I am standing at your door at this damn river downtown street. Hashtag, I am knocking on the door for a few minutes but no one is coming out. I know your parents are inside. Hashtag, tell them to open the door and pay back my money. It's already 4 months due, the person on the other side spoke rudely, not giving any face. Lu Lan's face paled. "Sir, please give me just 1 week. Just 1 week and I will definitely pay all your money, I promise you," Lu Lan pleaded on the phone. Hashtag, 1 week. No, last time you also said 2 weeks but I never got my money back. Hashtag, I am telling you, come here right now. I will give you 25 minutes. If you are not coming then I will call the police. Hashtag, don't blame me then for accusing you of committing a fraud, I still have the legal document signed by you when you took the money. The person's tongue was sharp, it was clear he was determined to get his money back. Lu Lan really panicked this time, the anxiety levels were soaring all-time high. How can she pay back so much money? She has already used the last notes in her purse to buy medicines for her sick mother. She really does not know what to do. Run away. But the other party is already at her door on the verge of calling the police. She bit her lips. "Sir, please, I beg you, my mother has been very sick lately. Just 1 week is all I ask for." She spoke in an almost crying tone. Hashtag, in 25 minutes come here or I will call the police, not giving any chance to refute. Just as the other party was about to disconnect the phone, Ch Fang grabbed it from Lu Lan. Yes, with his sharp senses, how could Chu Fang not hear what they were talking about? He already saw this as his chance to impress this hot girl. His mind was only telling him that he can't miss this chance. With a domineering demeanor, he snatched the phone away from Lu Lan's hands. Isn't it just some little money this innocent girl borrowed, what fuss you are making? Chu Fang spoke extra loudly to impress Lu Lan. Hashtag, who are you? Where is Lu Lan? Give her the phone. The other person on the phone was taken aback on hearing an unfamiliar voice. Why, so you can keep scaring this innocent girl? Boy, I tell you, no one can be arrogant in front of me. Chu Fang spoke haughtily. On hearing Chu Fang calling himself a little boy, the middle-aged man on the other side of the phone had his eyebrows twitching. Hashtag, I don't know who you are but that girl owes me $5 million. I am going to disconnect. Tell her she better come here in 25 minutes or else. Hearing this, Chu Fang sneered, hearing my name, the feet of ordinary people like you trembles with fear. Boy, I tell you, don't fool around, you must have tricked this naive girl to take a small loan with large interest. River downtown, is it? Just wait, I will come and teach you a lesson. If I don't break your bones my name won't be Chu Fang. Chu Fong snorted as he cut off the call first. How can his domineering image be maintained if he gave the other party a chance to disconnect the call first? He had already assumed in his mind that Lu Lan was cheated, and he must teach the other party a lesson. Chu Fong recalled while he was abroad, he had seen countless thugs cheating young girls by lending money with large interests. Then when the girls couldn't pay back, they simply asked them to sleep together and slowly turned them into their bitches. He thought what was happening with Lu Lan was similar. He didn't bother asking the girl concerned. With his arrogance, how can he think or assume something wrong in the first place? Lu Lan's eyes almost popped out. Seeing Chu Fong scolding her lender, Lu Lan almost had a heart attack. You must know she really needed a large amount of money at that time. She neither had a decent job nor any property, plus her condition was terrible. So getting a loan easily from the bank was a distant dream. At that time, this middle-aged man, a distant family friend, offered her money without any interest. But he said that he will need it back within half a year, as their family's condition too was not that good. Lu Lan didn't mind him talking rude to herself on the phone, as she thought it was her own fault. She had defaulted on her payment 4.5 times already. The other party, after giving her repeated chances, was really angry. It's not like the money is growing on trees. But he was just one of the lenders. She still owed money to many other people as well. And these days, all of them were calling her to pay back the money. Just thinking about it, she had a headache. She can't help it, her mom is terribly sick. So her hospital and medicine bill are so high, her dad is in gambling debt, her sister's school's fees, house's electricity and water bills, daily vegetables and groceries. She don't even know how is she still able to keep the house running with meager part-time jobs. She was confident of her business talent, but without any connections and advanced degrees, she was rejected in countless interviews. All she wanted was one chance to get a decent job, but she never got one. And now, with this Chu Fong scolding her lender, her benefactor, she was really angry. No matter how exaggerated Chu Fong's protagonist's halo is, she no longer cared about any favorable impression she had developed earlier. With Su Chen's words in her mind, she started feeling that Chu Fong was also not a good person. Seeing speechless Lu Lan in front of him, Chu Fong grinned. Hee, I am sure this hot chick is too impressed by the way I scolded that person on the phone that she don't even have any words. With me personally doing things, how can the girl not be impressed? All that is left to do is to just beat that person, and she will completely fall for me. Chu Fong was confident that with his arrogant speech he had already touched the girl's heart. Chu Fong, was it your name, right? Lu Lan, recovering from shock, finally opened her mouth. That person was telling the truth. I really borrowed money and must pay it back. You first return my phone. Lu Lan said slowly, in her mind no matter Su Chen or Chu Fong, she was sure both of them were someone she must not get involved with. Her life was messy enough, if she gets involved with either of them, maybe at that time it would be too late to even cry. On hearing Lu Lan's words, Chu Fong's lips arched up. Seeing her stuttering, he thought the other party was so moved by his action that she wanted to confess to him directly. ###########. A/N guys, regarding Lu Ruer, there was a slight editing mistake earlier which I corrected. Lot of you got confused, so I will mention it here again. Her breasts are big, that's why Su Chen called her big-breasted woman in ch16, but it's not too big, it's just between E and F cup size. Lu Ruer has a delusion that her size is very big, more than G size, while it's not that exaggerated in reality. Also guys, all heroines realistic and new art, some are .18, have been uploaded on Discord channel, be sure to check them out. Chapter 54, Driving Lu Lan Home. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Lan tried to tell Chu Fong that she wasn't cheated, she really owed the money, but how can he change his mind? She was ignored. Here's your phone, let's go. Chu Fong pushed the phone back in her hands. Go. Where do we have to go? Lu Lan asked blankly. Of course, it is to teach that rude guy a lesson. You don't need to be scared, with me personally taking action, all your troubles will soon disappear. Chu Feng, after speaking, looked at her expression from the corner of his eyes. In the past he had picked up girls like this. Just speak an arrogant dialogue, do a follow-up act and she will be already in your pocket. No, I can take care of my own troubles. Lu Lan replied. Don't act so shy, my SUV is just parked around the corner. Before Lu Lan could even react, she felt her soft hand being forcefully grabbed as Chu Feng started pulling her to the vehicle. Oh no! Why is he pulling me all of a sudden? Don't tell me he really plans to do what he said earlier. Crap! Lu Lan's face, which was already pale, lost even the remaining color as she realized what Chu Feng was doing. Mr. Chu Feng, please release your grip on my hands at once. Lu Lan was now angry. She tried to break free, but how could Chu Feng let a beauty in his hands go so easily? As a strong mercenary king abroad with a sturdy and muscular body, his grip was iron-tight. Don't make noise, just wait and soon you will realize that what I said was right. Seeing her still resisting, Chu Feng got even more excited. He always liked to tame and sleep with such girls who resist a lot in starting. According to him, these girls are fierce in bed, worthy of all the effort. Don't resist or I will directly carry you like a princess. Lu Lan could only helplessly watch her being dragged away to his SUV. She looked all around to see if there was someone to ask for help, but the footpath was empty, the stores were closed, it was like everyone was busy having a vacation. Why is there no one to help me? If she was one of the main heroine who could hear Chu Feng's and Su Chen's thoughts, she would have definitely, without a doubt, yelled at this point. This damn protagonist's halo, fucking plot armor. Opening the back door, Chu Feng threw her in and himself sat on the driver's seat. Okay, tell me your address, Chu Feng's asked as he ignited the engine. Why should I tell? Lu Lan spoke in an aggrieved tone. At this point she thought maybe she should have not repulsed Su Chen so strongly earlier, lest she may not have fallen in this situation. That damn Su Chen, he never said that this Chu Feng will be so unreasonable. She cursed Su Chen in her mind for not telling more. Young master, are we gonna watch them drift away? The security team captain asked Su Chen. He was really worried that this new girl whom the young master is interested in may really be taken down by that Chu Feng. Hearing his concern, Su Chen still had the same smile on his face. From the beginning, his expression never changed. Sure, he can come out from the hiding spot and save Lu Lan from being dragged away, but then what? With this he will only get a little bit of favorability of hers. She still won't completely trust him. Just wait a little, let her get more desperate, then who can she call for help other than Su Chen? He wanted Chu Feng to act even more unscrupulous. The more he acts wildly, the more panic Lu Lan will feel. Hee. You don't have to worry if that girl will fall in Chu Feng's arms. Sometimes you can't force things too much or they will be counterproductive. Isn't it the common saying? Twisted melons are not sweet. Although the security team's captain had some doubts, but seeing his young master's confident attitude he didn't dare question more. Okay, now it's time for other part of the plan. Arrange all the people who have lent money to Lu Lan, to go to her home as soon as they can to ask to get back their money. Su Chen gave some instructions, the security team captain obediently nodded, he could vaguely feel that the young master was plotting something big. It's still 12 p.m. now, I think she should call me by the evening. Since we are already at Central Park, it would be regrettable if we did not look at the beautiful roses planted here. Let's just sit at some good shady place and enjoy the sun bath. Su Chen was not at all concerned about Lu Lan, the fish had already taken the bait, all he had to do was wait. With leisureful steps, Su Chen entered the Central Park and started strolling around as if he was on a picnic. At the same time Lu Lan and Chu Feng, who were driving at top speed, were only some minutes away from her home. Chu Fong threatened Lu Lan directly that he will take her to his place if she does not tell her address. In the end, she had to open her mouth. Lu Lan didn't dare open her mouth after that. Her heart was beating so fast, the car was speeding at such a high speed. She repeatedly told Chu Fong to slow down, but he instead kept increasing the speed. 2 times already they have by just a few centimeters escaped head-on collisions. She just closed her eyes to calm down her agitated mind. She never liked the so-called arrogant drivers. Why does Chu Fong need to drive so fast? If she had an accident, who would take care of her family? She could only pray helplessly. Chu Fong, who was busy drifting the SUV like he was on some racing track, looked at the rear mirror to see what Lu Lan was doing in the back seat. The girl has such a peaceful expression on her face, it seems she enjoyed it so much that she took a short nap. I can understand, with so many people fooling her, only with me can she feel at peace. Who doesn't like the thrill of moving so fast? When I was abroad, countless times I had made an escape from the chasing police cars with my mad driving skills. It's a pity. We are already moving at max speed, otherwise I would have sped up more. Chu Fong muttered slowly to himself, thinking Lu Lan was asleep from tiredness and stress. But his voice was still high enough to be heard. In the back seat, Lu Lan, who had closed her eyes for some time, heard everything clearly. She felt her worldview completely collapse. Her panic button was successfully hit by Chu Fong. Oh gosh, this guy is so narcissistic. Running away from police abroad. What crimes did he commit, and why is he telling it in such a happy tone like he made some achievement? Wait. I remember Su Chen told me that he was a big criminal who just came back to the country and he had killed various innocent people. I thought Su Chen was just lying, but hearing Chu Fong's words, he was definitely telling me the truth. He also said Chu Fong had been staring and stalking me for some time to add me to his harem. Why am I so unlucky? Why is this criminal having bad thoughts about me? Lu Lan wanted to cry at this point. Su Chen gave me his number, should I call him and ask for help? But why do I still feel a little reluctant to call him? Yeah, if I take help from him then I will feel indebted to him. He is a rich second generation. All those rich spoiled boys have a bad reputation. What if Su Chen made some unreasonable demand? With his background I can never fight back. No, I must not call him yet. Before she knew they were almost at their destination. Finally we reached this place. With a heavy brake the SUV stopped near the house. Lu Lan, who was pretending to sleep upon brake's impact, opened her eyes. In a happy mood Chu Fong, after getting out, politely opened the back door. The grin on his face was at an all-time high. Miss, we are at your house, let's see who is making a fuss. Chu Fong, after seeing that Lu Lan got out, turned around and saw the building where Lu Lan was living. After a 30-minute drive they finally arrived. She was living on the 12th floor of this residential apartment building. But when both Chu Fong and Lu Lan turned around, they saw that a large crowd had long gathered at the entrance and was shouting madly, ######, guys, be sure to check out my new book. Cultivate to Immortality. Nah. I choose to marry and open a harem. If you haven't yet checked out Chapter 55 Su Chen's Arrangements. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Upon seeing such a large crowd, both Lu Lan and Chu Fong were surprised by the situation. Just as Chu Fong was about to shout to get them out of his way, someone from the crowd spotted Lu Lan. Guys, there she is. Lu Lan is finally here. The guy shouted, catching everyone's attention. His words were the trigger as the crowd quickly surrounded Lu Lan. Lu Lan, pay back the money you borrowed from us. Lu Lan, you are such a shameless bitch, you have already overdue your payments 5 times and still not giving money. I tell you, if I don't get my money back I am gonna break everything in your house. Lu Lan, I know a very good lawyer, don't test me otherwise you will rot in jail. hurry and pay back. One by one, the agitated crowd started shouting loudly. Lu Lan, whose mind was already in a mess, was not able to see that these people were never the ones whom she borrowed from. But she was already panicked, stressed and scared by Chu Feng. Amidst all of this, she subconsciously thought that she really owed all of them money, as she had indeed borrowed from a lot of people. Please don't shout, let's go in the house first, then talk about it. Lu Lan could only say this to calm the crowd. Seeing such an agitated crowd, she wasn't a fool to admit that she didn't have any money. Who knows if these people directly beat up her and her family. Since they can come here to make a scene, doing something more was within the scope. The people who gathered around her, upon seeing her expressions, showed a cunning smile. Yes, among the crowd only 2.3 people were the ones to whom Lu Lan really owed the money, the rest of them were arranged by Su Chen. This was the second part of his plan. Find people to make a scene at her house and at the same time call some actual lenders. Everyone who gathered here just minutes before received a call from Su Group. Most of them were employees of various local industries under the Su Group. When they received a call, all of them were taken aback. They were told that they will receive a big bonus, plus they might receive Su Chen's favor. Who is Su Chen? Their big boss. All they had to do was such a simple task of shouting some words, and very readily they accepted the task, rushing as fast as they could to Lu Lan's house. As expected, this girl was deceived without a doubt. Chu Feng spoke righteously. Okay. Since the girl has spoken to go inside and talk politely, let's go inside first. One of Su Chen's people spoke as he was told on the phone. Yeah, let's behave in a civilized manner. Another person hired by Su Chen spoke from the crowd of 15.20 people. Most of them already knew the plan, so they decisively agreed and started climbing the stairs to reach the 12th floor. Lu Lan could only sigh helplessly. I guess, in the end, that I will have to face the situation. Poor Lu Lan could only nod her head in dejection as she followed after the crowd to climb the stairs. Seeing Lu Lan's current state, the happiest person was none other than Chu Feng, who was standing just beside her. Seeing her walking to climb stairs, he couldn't help laughing out aloud. Now no one can stop me from being a knight in shining armor. There should be 15.20 people, it's not a big deal to beat these ordinary guys. Chu Feng stretched out his hands in excitement as his mood became playful. I am the one who is blessed by God. Ah. Sighs, I guess I will have to finally show my strength. Chu Feng made a fist as his knuckles were itching to throw some powerful punches. This girl is really poor, the apartment building she lives in doesn't even have an elevator, Chu Feng snorted. Maybe I can give her some money later to make her completely dependent on me. As expected, I am a genius. He muttered slowly as in big strides, with his arrogant face upright. He too started climbing the stairs. As soon as the crowd and the sub-heroine along with the protagonist reached upstairs, they saw the person who called Lu Lan to come here in 35 minutes. The middle-aged, distant family friend who lent the money was waiting outside her door as no one was opening it from inside. He was thinking that he had been too lenient with Lu Lan. She dares to find a thug to scold himself on the phone. Just let her come, today he will vent up all his frustration. Hearing the sound of many footsteps, he turned his face to look at the stairs. At first, he was happy thinking Lu Lan had come, but when he saw so many people, out of instinct he took a step back. Fuck. This bitch Lu Lan hired so many people to beat me up. That thug on the phone did say that he will break all my bones. He was really serious, and he brought so many hooligans with him. The middle-aged man was in complete panic mode. Just at this time, Lu Lan came forward. After all, she had to open the house's door. Uncle Feiner. Upon seeing her benefactor, Lu Lan smiled wryly. She had already thought about it, she can't escape from the situation. Since things have come to do this, I will have to sell my ancestors' gold jewelry and other furniture to pay back the debt. Lu Lan, who had a hidden talent for business, had long thought about it before borrowing the money. Yes, this was her capital, her family had some very old gold pieces of jewelry left by their ancestors telling them that it was the luck of their family and must never be sold or disclosed. It was a pity that after some generations, the Lu family had fallen so low that it is even difficult to eat a proper meal. Just as she was about to invite the middle-aged man to enter the house, Chu Feng walked out in front haughtily. At this point, the sleeves of his shirt were curled up, and his muscular chest was bulging forward. He has completely turned into his mercenary and soldier king's image. His strong gaze, with those biceps, really gave a frightening feeling to the onlookers as if he was unstoppable. Upon seeing the middle-aged man, he instantly figured out that he was the one who talked to him on the phone. "Boy, so you are the one who was being arrogant and rude on the phone." Chu Feng spoke, interrupting Lu Lan. "I have to admit that you got guts. Even after telling you that I will break your bones, you are still standing, waiting for me here." Chu Feng chuckled as he made a crackling sound with his knuckles. The crowd behind was quiet, just like spectators enjoying the show. On seeing this, Uncle Feiner's legs almost gave in. He was very scared at the moment. Seeing so many people gathered by Lu Lan to just beat him up, this was too cruel. "Fuck, I am here to just collect my money, what's wrong with it? Lu Lan, why are you doing this?" Uncle Feiner roared in his mind, but he dare not speak up his grievances lest he will be beaten down directly on the spot. He secretly calculated that if so many people beat him up, he perhaps will die for real. He was damn sure that his old bones can't endure such a suffering. With an aggrieved face, he looked at Lu Lan. "Lu Lan, I have to admit, you hide too deeply. How long had I known your family, how many times have I helped you in need, but this is what I get. You are really a vicious and cruel woman. But I won't stand here, ready to die." Under the watchful eyes of all, Uncle Feiner without wasting any time turned around to run to the other side of the corridor where emergency stairs were. "I will see you in the court, bitch." He made sure to yell loudly as he ran away. Everyone was confused. What's wrong with this guy? Why did he just run away like that? But no one cared much about it. Lu Lan, who heard it, couldn't comprehend what was going on. She was sure she only invited Uncle Feiner inside, so why did he suddenly threaten her? "It seems there is some misunderstanding. Doesn't matter. Let's first take care of this crowd, later, I will personally visit Uncle Feiner's house to compensate him." Lu Lan went to the door and slowly spoke. "Little sister, it's me. Hurry, open up the door." Chu Feng, who was about to chase that Uncle Feiner, forcefully held back. Even though he wanted to beat him badly, he knew the current situation, he must stay with Lu Lan to save her. Chapter 56, A Clever Plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Lan, seeing there was no response, this time raised her voice a little while knocking. "Sister, open the door, I am back." Lu Lan spoke in a very gentle and soft tone. This time the door of the house opened abruptly. A little girl, about 12 years old, flung like a sparrow in Lu Lan's arms. Even though the girl's body was thin and somewhat malnourished, on seeing her innocent oval face with those sparkling eyes, one could instantly tell she was untainted by any worldly malice. "Sister, sister." Wolfu, she was hugging Lu Lan tightly, tears kept dripping down endlessly. "Hey Lu Main, sister is here, tell what happened." Lu Lan patted her back with one hand as with the other she rubbed her hairs. "Sister, people have been knocking on the door constantly. They keep demanding money but we have nothing to give. The uncle who was earlier at the door shouted that he will put our entire family in jail. I was so scared, I locked the door." Wu Fu, seeing such a delicate girl crying, the hearts of people who were gathered softened automatically, but they knew they still needed to work according to Su Chen's plan. Most of them could only sigh helplessly, everyone was there for their own selfish reasons. "It's okay, let's first go inside." With Lu Lan walking inside with her little sister, the group of 15.20 people followed inside. Chu Feng took out his phone and dialed a number. The call connected the next instant. Hello, boss. What happened? If you are worried about whether we will enter the country safely, then rest assured, by tomorrow's nightfall, all the important members of our group will reach the shore via various small boats. Joker, I already have confidence in my subordinates. Most of them have fought along with me and I am well aware of their potential. Them facing difficulties while entering this weak country is something that's not even worth considering. Chu Fong replied as if it was a matter of fact. I called you because I urgently need some money in my bank account. Hurry up and transfer at least $25 million to my account. Chu Fong spoke domineeringly. Okay boss, I will instantly send money. Joker replied obediently. Since their boss needs some money, then just send it. It's not that they are short of money. After plundering and looting a lot, the wealth they had hoarded is really enough to make countless envious. Chu Fong disconnected the call. There was a sneer on his face. If I give her money right now to pay these debts, then she will be head over heels for me without a doubt. After muttering to himself, Chu Fong too walked inside the apartment. What no one knew was, everything that was happening was just what Su Chen had predicted. Inside, Lu Lan brought everyone to the living room. Although the building seemed shabby, the apartment she was living in was quite spacious. With 3 independent rooms along with a kitchen and a living room, it was enough for their middle-class family. When she opened the door to check on her mother's condition, she couldn't help but feel sad. It's been so many months, mother is still not showing any signs of recovery from her bed-ridden illness. She is sleeping most of the day. Okay sister, you stay in this room and look after mom while I take care of all the guys in the other room, okay? Lu Lan pushed in little Lu Main inside. With some coaxing, her little sister finally agreed to stay with her sick mother. It seems today our ancestors' pieces of gold jewelries will finally be used up to pay off all the debts. With a deep look on her face, she came back to the living room. Okay, now tell how much money I need to pay to each of you. There was a resolution in her tone. Just as she spoke, Chu Fong came in front of her, looking at the crowd arrogantly. Tell me how much she owes you, I will pay back her money. I am telling you, don't try to act smart in front of me. Earlier, I had decided to beat you all up then send each of you to hospital. But it seems this girl really owes some money to you guys. I will pay everything. I am not short of money. Chu Fong's tone was unquestionable. From the corner of his eyes, he looked at Lu Lan standing beside him. With me paying all her debts, her heart will surely be moved. If Lu Lan could hear what Chu Fong was thinking at this moment, she would have puked directly. Sadly, she was just a sub-heroine. One by one, all the people gathered started talking about the money they all lent. At first, Lu Lan was a little skeptical. Most of the people who were present, she had never seen any of those before. But later when she inquired, she was full of curses. Apparently, all of them spoke that her father, Lu Quan, was the one who borrowed from them to spend money on gambling. Seeing Lu Lan's unbelievable eyes, they even took out fake contracts they had just printed before coming to her house. Su Chen already knew that her father was a big gambling addict and was always drunk. He did indeed take some money from people, but those people only came in later half of the story to make trouble with Lu Lan. Therefore, he cleverly instructed all of the people who came here today to put all the blame on Lu Lan's father. Lu Lan's eyes were shocked. In all the documents she saw, her father has clearly mentioned that in case he is unable to pay off the debt, the lenders can directly approach Lu Lan for the money. Damn, I knew my father was crazy about gambling. Mom and I kept telling him that all of this is not good, but he never listened to us. He took so much from these people without even informing us. Fuck, he must be enjoying in some casino playing some gambling games while we are here paying off his debts. Lu Lan was fuming with anger. If her father was here, he would have already been cursed 1,000 times by her. N guys, the book seemed to have lost lots of readers that it had earlier, so I not think it's worth the effort for me to update daily. So from now on, I like my other book, will only update this story on some days of week, mostly they will be Wednesday and Thursday. Chapter 57 The Days of Regret. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The night Su Chen was making love with Chensi, Lu Ruer, who was just next door eating their vinegar, was not the only one who was not able to sleep in a dark room, on a messy bed, whose bed sheet hadn't been changed for a week. Mei Qin was sitting with blank eyes. She was tightly holding a teddy bear like it was the closest thing next to her heart. She looked at this teddy bear with deep emotion. "Oh, Su Chen, do you remember when you bought me this teddy bear 2.5 years ago? It was the first gift you gave me." "No, it was the first gift someone ever gave me. I still remember that sunny day when you first confessed to me so openly, you so domineeringly said, 'Mei Qin, in this life you can only belong to me.' At that time I was so angry. How can a boy out of nowhere confess and give such a gift? But later when I realized your identity as the heir of Su Group, I didn't have the guts to refuse your present. Later, I came home and kept molesting this teddy bear every time you annoyed me. Sometimes I would throw it against the wall, sometimes I would punch it assuming I was punching your face, sometimes I would tear a part of it and foam would come out. But look at me now, I have knitted all the torn corners of this teddy bear. After all, it's your only gift left with me." Mei Qin laughed at her irony. There were already some small needle injury marks on her delicate fingers which she got while learning knitting to repair the broken teddy bear. When she went to Su Chen's house to ask him to let her family go, she got what she wanted, but deep in her heart, she knew it was not something that she actually yearned for. It was only something her parents and other family member wanted. That time she wanted to ask Su Chen for forgiveness because she knew she was in the wrong. Even though she said she didn't like him, it was still selfish for her to take all the benefits that he gave her and her family without ever saying a simple thank you. But Su Chen knew her mind was turbulent, her heart was in a mess. He told her to go home and think clearly. And she indeed did what Su Chen said. There was a subtle emotion in her eyes whenever she saw or heard Su Chen was with another woman. When he went on a date or slept with Chensi, this feeling only got more and more intense. Can she still say she had no feelings for Su Chen? At this point, she did not know the answer to such a simple question. Therefore, she locked herself in her room and introspected everything she had done so far. She recalled the first day she met Su Chen when she was confessed for the first time. She recalled the gifts he used to bring her. She recalled the bouquet of exquisite flowers that he used to bring every month. She recalled how meticulously he took care of her family, and never let any problem befall their group. She recalled how her every new day would begin by seeing Su Chen's good morning message and end with Su Chen's good night message. No matter how ridiculous or exaggerated her request was, Su Chen would always fulfill them. Everyone would laugh at him for licking her, but he never cared and kept doing all those things, thinking that one day he would move her heart. She was so ashamed. At this point, she realized she never spoke any word of gratitude to him. "If maybe one day," I said. "Thanks so much for these beautiful red roses, Su Chen," maybe then he would have smiled more, right? Mei Qin thought in her mind. For 2 full days, she was alone in her room. Neither her dad nor those family relatives who always used to flatter her came and asked what happened to her. Her hair, which hadn't been washed for more than a week, gave a strong smell. Her body, because of not taking a bath for many days and instead getting herself dirty while desperately trying to find things Su Chen once gifted her, gave a foul odor. If it was Su Chen. If Su Chen knew that I had locked myself in my room and had not eaten anything, he would have directly rushed to my house and scolded me for not taking care of myself. I remember the first time he scolded me when I got sick while trying fasting for the first time while dieting. It's so strange that, if asked in the past who would have cared the most for me, the answer would not have been my parents but instead Su Chen. And, I too used to laugh sarcastically with my secretary behind his back. How ignorant I was. There were already some small tears falling from the corner of her eyes. Sometimes Mei Qing laughed hysterically, sometimes she laughed foolishly. She realized she did not know when, with every small act, Su Chen had long left a very strong presence in her heart. Even if she didn't want to admit it, her heart would beat wildly thinking about all their time together, all his cheap cheesy lines he would speak to impress her, every single sentence was vivid in her mind. Her heart was already so full of Su Chen. Can it still accommodate someone else in the future? It was 9 a.m., and a new day had already started, but after spending so much time alone, Mei Qing seemed to have finally arrived at a conclusion. Is this love? She doesn't know. But all she knows is she can feel Su Chen is getting further and further away from her, and she doesn't want it to happen. She didn't care if her family was no longer a top rich family or if their business group had lost all its capital. The ridicule and petty words of relatives and friends never mattered to her. She was very sure at this moment. Su Chen, I finally figured it out. After thinking clearly, like you said, I can feel it. She used to say to her friends that a girl should marry someone who can keep her happy, never let her feel aggrieved or cry. Such a perfect man was standing beside her, and she was so blind that she couldn't see it. I will fight for it. I know things can't go back to the way it was between us. But as long as there is even a slight chance, I won't give up that easily. Mei Qing got up from the bed and went to the bathroom to wash herself. Today her destination was only one. Su Chen's house. Chapter 58. Isn't it just a mere 30 million? You are listening at novelfull.audio. 30 million? Lu Lan asked in shock. Yes, 30 million. One of the fake money lenders arranged by Su Chen after entering the living room gathered all the people, and calculated how much debt Lu Lan's father owed. Lu Lan's mind was in a daze. The amount was really high for her to pay on the spot. Actually, after reading the lending contracts, she realized the money that her father borrowed was not that much, but the return interest rate was way too exaggerated. If the money borrowed was high, she would have definitely been very suspicious. Since last month her father quarreled with her to give him some money, he left the house directly, and she hadn't seen him. He neither has a job nor any property, and with his poor condition who would lend him such a large amount? But she knew the people associated with the gambling business are very vicious. She was sure her addicted father begged those dirty guys, and seeing her father's plight, they decided to fool him and take advantage of him by giving small amounts with such ridiculous interest rates. That's why Su Chen was extra careful when he told his guys to bring the lending agreement along with them that was written with such conditions. Su Chen was very well aware that Lu Lan would notice the above point. He was sure, with it, her suspicion would be completely lowered. If you are dealing with a love brain, just tell her some fake promises and she will blindly follow you, but when dealing with a smart woman, you must play with their mind and heart at the same time. The more angry the face of the moneylenders were, the more happy Chu Fong was. He was just waiting for this moment. I guess it's time to take out my ancestors' jewelry. Let's end this debt all at once. It makes me feel so frustrated. Lu Lan sighed. Just when she was about to turn back to fetch gold pieces of jewelry, Chu Fong, who was standing in a corner, jumped out. Wait. With a proud face and his chest raised upright, he quickly caught everyone's attention. You guys think that I am here to play? Isn't it just a mere 30 million? With an arrogant tone unique to a protagonist that cannot be questioned, the stern voice along with his demeanor of a mercenary king, he instantly shut everyone's mouth. Boy, don't open your mouth like some illiterate. Do you even know how many zeros there are in 30 million? One of the guys in the crowd sneered at him. Yeah, just look at your shabby and faded clothes. You are probably some street beggar who is fascinated by this girl's beauty. If beggars like you have so much money, our country would have become #1 long ago, haha. Another person spoke sarcastically. Quiet, quiet, I said. Chu Fong was instantly enraged. He narrowed the distance, and when he was just about to punch the guy, he paused. No, I am in her home right now. If I did any damage here, then all my hard work would be ruined. Chu Fan gritted his teeth as he looked at those who mocked him with bloodshot eyes. This king shall remember your face, just wait a day, when my subordinates come, all of your families will be wiped out like they never existed in the first place. With a deep breath, Chu Fang calmed himself down. He looked back and walked towards Lu Lan. Seeing him giving such dangerous vibes, Lu Lan was already scared, but at this point with so many people waiting for their money, she couldn't make a fuss. Tell me your bank number. Chu Fang spoke very domineeringly. Lu Lan, upon hearing him, was puzzled. Can this guy really help me? This Chu Fang forcefully came with me to my home, and now is shamelessly putting his nose in my business. So what if the protagonist's halo is overpowered? With Su Chen's lecture in advance, Lu Lan's wariness for Chu Fang was considerably increased. Seeing her unbelievable eyes, Chu Fang was surprised. What? Why is she looking at me with those doubtful eyes? In the past when I used to pick up girls, just one sentence was enough, and here I even showed such a strong character, yet she is not trusting me. Chu Fang didn't believe that any girl could resist his charm. Okay, if I am not able to pay them back, then I would never bother you in future. Chu Fang changed his way of approach. I am a righteous person with connections to the chief of police. Let's first send these people away, you can pay me back slowly. If you still don't believe it, then remember the SUV in which I just drove you home. Didn't you see the police logo on it? Chu Fang spoke slowly in a sly voice. Hearing him, Lu Lan, under his overpowered halo, hesitated a little. She remembered that on his SUV that she came back with, there was indeed a big police logo along with a siren. Maybe he is telling the truth. I mean, he is there standing, constantly trying to flatter or help me. Perhaps he is a good person and Su Chen may have misunderstood. Should I take his money? Chu Fang was looking at her with meaningful eyes. After a little struggle, Lu Lan made up her mind. Damn it, let's take his money. He is constantly sticking to me like a fly anyway, this will be his compensation to me. Moreover, he said that if he is not able to pay back the money, he will never pester me again, plus that way, I won't be ashamed and feel guilty for selling our ancestors pieces of jewelry. Lu Lan finally met Chu Fang's gaze. Remember, that's what you said. With a cold face, she told Chu Fang her mobile number and bank details. Laughing out aloud, Chu Fang looked at the crowd of 15.20 people that was gathered. Now watch me. You will know who is a beggar. With a sneer, he spoke. In everyone's attentive eyes, he opened his phone's banking app and on the spot transferred 40 million to Lu Lan's account. In the police station, after taking bribes from many officers, he had long amassed 10 million in his account, and with 30 million his right-hand man Joker sent him just a while ago, his blood was boiling with excitement. At the very next second, a notification rang in Lu Lan's phone that 40 million was transferred to her account. Seeing the amount in her account, Lu Lan, who had never earned more than 20,000 a month, almost choked on her throat. As a smart girl, she quickly thought of various situations. Soon, a very dangerous thought passed through her mind. Lu Lan's breathing became violent. If Chu Fang was a righteous person, then from where he had such money in his account? She was sure no white jobs pay so much salary, unless he is a businessman, it's impossible. But she had already been rejected in interviews at those big business groups. She was sure, she never heard Chu Fang's name in the business circle. There was only one answer. Su Chen was right. Chu Fang, a big mercenary, a killer who has killed lots of people abroad, had been stalking her. It was surely the illegal money that he had hoarded up. Chu Fang, who had a sunny smile, failed to notice the disgust that was taking shape in the girl's eyes. Come on, beauty. This king has already sent you money. Let's pay these trash, then spend the night together. Chu Fang was getting impatient. A/N guys, all heroines realistic and new art, some are .18, have been uploaded on Discord channel, be sure to check them out. Chapter 59. The situation starts turning around. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I feel scared. Lu Lan's emotions were turbulent. Had Chu Fang sent only a fraction of the amount, like 15 or 20 million, Lu Lan might not have reacted too strongly. In the first place, she only expected a little help from him, and the remaining debt she would pay slowly once the people's anger calmed down. But no. Chu Fang was too lost in his acting that he sent 40 million in one go. Lu Lan looked once, twice, thrice, at the phone's notification. There was no doubt, the money received was indeed 40 million, it was too exaggerated. Miss, did you see that? Such things are trivial matters for me. Chu Fang tried to get close to Lu Lan, the grin on his face was wider than before. Looking at him approaching, Lu Lan found his sunny smile to be no less than a devil. This time her head was much clearer, and she saw his lustful eyes scanning her from top to bottom like she was some hot commodity on a flash sale. Out of fear, she took a step back and hastily spoke, "Yes, thank you, mister. You are a life-saver, let's first pay these people and send them away." Worthy of her talent, she instantly calmed her agitated mind. Although she realized Chu Fang's intention, she was aware that she must not show any changes on her face lest he get suspicious. The other party is a ruthless character who kills without blinking and has a big harem. She is just a simple girl who only knows some things about business. How can she resist if the other party forces her directly? She had already been dragged by him to her home, and with his unyielding demeanor, it was clear Chu Fang would never accept a no from her. Hearing her, Chu Fang nodded. "Ah, the beauty is so considerate. I get it. She is feeling shy, as expected of my charm." Finally the girl is impressed. She is embarrassed to hug me in front of so many outsiders. I got it. I understand. Chu Fang turned around and looked at the crowd. "Come here, let this girl transfer the money she owes you, directly to your goddamn accounts." His voice was so loud that it reverberated throughout the big room. Seeing the ambiguous way he was looking at the girl gave the impression that he wanted to shoo them away to do something immoral to the innocent girl. Each of those present were not some child who was oblivious to such simple worldly things. Looking at Chu Fang's unscrupulous gaze full of lust, even the faint guilty feeling for harassing Lu Lan disappeared. All the people arranged by Su Chen knew it was time to begin the final part of the plan. At first, when they were told to ask for such a high amount from Lu Lan, they were skeptical about whether Chu Fang could pay such an amount on the spot. But hearing strong reassurance from Su Chen, they could only grit their teeth and follow the plan. Who made him their boss? And when Chu Fang indeed paid the amount on the spot, they couldn't help but admire their boss's planning. Everything that was happening was exactly what he told them. Their respect for their boss Su Chen further soared. In their opinion, their young boss was saving this beauty from this evil, lustful person. One by one, they approached Lu Lan and got their money back. After being paid back, they didn't leave but stood there with worried faces. Chu Fang was angry. Clearly, he paid them, so why the heck they were not leaving? You know, he hadn't slept with a girl for some days now. He wanted to shout at them, but that would ruin his image in front of the girl he built so painstakingly. Just wait a few minutes more. Chu Fang repeated these words to ease his tensed-up emotions. Like him, Lu Lan was too confused. What happened? Why are you guys not leaving? She asked the crowd present. A chubby man walked hesitantly in front. His eyebrows were frowning, his hands were a little shaky. Miss, there is something I need to tell you. No, I think it's my duty to inform you. The seriousness on his face told her that things may not be so simple. Lu Lan hesitated but still nodded, go ahead. Hearing her affirmation, the chubby man breathed a sigh of relief. Miss, I will be very honest. The amount you paid us back was too much. We came here today, only expecting to collect 20.3% of the said amount. We are all well aware of your family situation, therefore we never had any thoughts to get our money back in full sum today. But things were different. He looked toward Chu Fong with a little fear. Seeing this ugly guy looking at him, Chu Fong felt a bad premonition in his heart and looked at him with alarmed eyes. "Miss, I think this person who sent you so much money is not simple. Just look at his shabby faded clothes, and the way he speaks like a hooligan. We fear that the money in his account comes from illegal sources." He took a deep breath. Perhaps, he might have robbed some bank. You know, in today's world, due to excess online frauds, our country's cybersecurity branch is paying extra attention to online transactions. If someone finds such a huge amount credited into your account and asks for an explanation, you might have to face legal issues, Mississippi. After speaking, he looked once again at Chu Fong. There was a cunning smile on his face. "Hee, young Master Su Chen, I acted perfectly. You must reward me heavily." The chubby man was rejoicing in his heart, thinking about the rich rewards that he might get since the task assigned Bu Su Chen was accomplished without any error. When Chu Fong saw this ugly man looking at him mischievously, he felt a sense of crisis. He instantly realized the ugly guy in front of him was plotting against him. Chu Fong's eyes became red with anger as he rushed towards him. Chapter 60 The Trap. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wait. Lu Lan, upon seeing that Chu Fong was gonna hit the chubby man, came in front to defend him. Ugh! Chu Fong gnashed his teeth. Since the girl defended herself, it would be rude if he still didn't back down. "Boy, you are saved today." With a heavy snort, Chu Fong stood aside. Lu Lan, after hearing the fat chubby man's words, instantly panicked. "Fuck, yes, how can I forget this thing? These days, cybersecurity is really tough. Just last week a woman was caught because she received a large amount of money in her account from illegal sources. In the end, she was imprisoned for life by the court. I won't be that unlucky, right?" Lu Lan calmed herself down by telling she can get away with it. "Okay, now since all the money is paid, you better come with us to the casino so we can give you the agreement signed and stamped by all of us that there is no longer any debt that you owe us. This will also save any future trouble if arises." The fat man showed a businessman's smile. On hearing his words, Lu Lan didn't have any suspicions, as it was only natural for her to have proof on white paper that everything was clear between them. But casino? Lu Lan hesitated. A lone girl going to a casino with such a crowd, moreover, in her eyes, that was not a good place to begin with. Who knows if something uncontrollable happens there? Chu Fong saw this as another chance to brush off favorability. It seems that it's fate. Let me stand up for her now. Now this is the last step, this girl will be tied to me like glue after this. With his arrogant character that he had shown earlier, Chu Fong came beside Lu Lan. "How can you ask a lone girl to come to that dirty place which is filled with drunk and lustful people? Who knows if you want to do anything bad to her? I know you all don't have a good reputation." Chu Fong spoke righteously. "In her place, I will come with you. Let's go, miss, you just wait for my return." Without giving any room for negotiation, Chu Fong walked out of the door. Seeing him taking the lead with such an unquestionable tone, the crowd started following after him. The ugly fat guy who was the leader of the crowd, sneered inside, calling us lustful. I am pretty sure you are the prince of lustfulness. Anyway, our job is finally done. Young Master Su Chen said that after everything is done you must lure Lu Lan out on the pretext of any excuse. Upon seeing it, this Chu Fong will jump out to take her place. And sure enough, it's just as the young master predicted. He is unfathomable. That ugly man's reverence for Su Chen reached unprecedented heights in his heart before he finally caught up to the rest of the crowd. In the park, sitting leisurely on a public bench, where Su Chen was enjoying the sunbath, he couldn't help but laugh out aloud. He heard all Chu Fong's thoughts. Lu Lan, with this arrangement, I don't believe I can't get you. Wang, the captain of his security team, who was standing next to him nodded. He just got the message from the chubby guy. They had arranged that Chu Fong went with them and everything happened just according to the young master's plan. Okay, Wang, now call the cybersecurity officials. Yes, boss. He obediently took out his phone and dialed a contact. Boss, here the call is connected. After dialing the number, he respectfully handed the mobile to Su Chen. Hello, this number is from the Su family. Whom am I talking to? On the other side of the call, a middle-aged man sitting at a desk was dozing off when the phone suddenly rang. He was the branch manager for the district's cybersecurity branch. He wanted to curse for disturbing his sleep, but when he saw that the caller's number was saved as Su family, all his laziness disappeared instantly. That is such a big family, how can a mere official like him dare to be arrogant? Su Chen was satisfied with his polite tone. Hello, I am Su Chen, the heir of the Su group. It was perhaps luck, I found some suspicious people who may be connected to those notorious criminals abroad. I suspect they did some sneaky transactions to fund their illegal activities here. The middle-aged man on the other side gasped. How dare those bad people bring that black money into his country to do something evil? He never thought Su Chen was lying. The other party is such a big person. What need does he have to lie? Understood, rest assured we would instantly start taking action. Please tell me, whom do you suspect? Young master, Su Chen. Lately, our cyber department is very strict regarding such matters. Su Chen was satisfied with the other party's answer. This should be the level of awe and respect a rich. Second-generation villain should have instead of licking here and there. The girl's name is Lu Lan. Su Chen quickly told her address and family details that he remembered from the plot to the officer. You don't need to be tough and arrest the other party directly, as I only suspect her. Just follow the normal process. Su Chen decided to give a little leeway to Lu Lan. Sending her to prison directly would be too much of a mental torture for her, who is already pressed under so much family burden. Thank you for your call, young master. Don't worry if the other party is really innocent, it's good for everyone. The middle-aged man appreciated Su Chen's noble character for doing his duty as a good citizen by informing suspicious people to the relevant authorities. Just as the call was disconnected, the middle-aged man quickly went into action. He found details of Lu Lan from the government records and started opening her bank accounts to check all her recent transactions.